Nimoto. Go. Muuliza nini?
Just like balance.
For sure.
It's what we had before. So nice.
My name is Flora Otieno. I'm an evolving mother. I work in the healthcare field, health systems management, for insurance manager.
Hi, my name is Modoni Maina, owner and founder of brand Paul's House. I'm a mother to one beautiful baby girl who just recently turned 1.
My name is Rispa Njeri Gatundu. I'm a nurse by profession, a mother of 4.
My name is Wanjiru Njiru. I am a content creator, media entrepreneur, host of the Joy podcast, and a mother of an 11-month-old baby.
My name is Cynthia. I wear many hats. I'm a mom of 2, a 6-year-old and a 6-month-old, and I'm a marketer by profession.
So my first breastfeeding experience was actually really nice. It wasn't bad. I had received formal education. I went to Lama's classes, so I knew how to clutch and all of those things. So it was pretty okay.
I think I was told, but I never listened because I thought breastfeeding was automatic. So I thought of all the things I should worry about. Once the baby is given to me, I should worry about labor and delivery, and then breastfeeding will be automatic. But that wasn't my story.
The things that came with the breastfeeding my first child was a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety. So I didn't receive the education from the other side. I came to receive it where I was working.
For my first child, it was a very, I'll say pretty much of an experience as a first-time mom. He was a preemie, born at 29 weeks at 1.4 kgs. And the experience was quite new and quite traumatizing, I would say, for lack of a better word, being a first-time mom, but it got easier along the way.
So I remember after I'd given birth, my baby was taken to the incubator, and I didn't have milk, right? So I remember after the second day, my doctor came in and also the ped, and they told me it's good if I, latch the baby so that at least it can stimulate my hormones to start, so that the milk can start coming out. And I remember when I went to the nursery, I was so nervous about it because this is my first time, I'm a first-time mom. And the good thing is we found the head nurse there, and I remember they helped me through the process, they're holding the baby, helping him to latch.
For 3 weeks post-baby, I didn't have consistent milk supply, and that was very hectic for a new mom, especially if you've wired in your mind that you're supposed to have milk. So, yeah.
In terms of experiencing shortage for milk supply, I never experienced that. What I learned from my gyna before leaving the hospital and the nurses, they insisted that hydrate as much as you can.
It is true, taking hot beverages helps in the supply of milk. But it depends with the type of drink you're taking. So you cannot say you're taking continuous water because it's hot. It equally depends with the type of drink you're taking, even if it's hot.
Yes, it's true and false to some extent. So I'm not keen on the hot beverage, but one thing is 100% is like water. Water is 100%, it does increase, whether it's hot, warm, whatever. Certain hot beverages, I feel from experience, depends on the person.
So of course the hot chocolates, I remember when I was struggling with milk, throughout my hospital stay, I used to drink hot chocolate on the clock. When I went home, it used to be there in a flask. And of course, water is really good also with supply. So it is factual, in my experience at least.
When I started, the whole process of breastfeeding, when I went back home, my husband would give me a hot cup of drinking chocolate and chapati. It really helped me to boost my milk supply.
What has been working for me is the hot chocolate and drinking hot milk and drinking chocolate for the longest, because experiencing 4 differently, then it can only make sense that you have one drink that is giving you milk, and for me is hot milk and drinking chocolate.
Expectations versus reality when it came to breastfeeding was the most difficult thing I have ever come across, because remember I said I thought it was automatic. So coming out, and then you're a new mom, everyone is telling you like you have to breastfeed. I remember there was a time my son was crying too much in the hospital, and I remember one of the nurses at the ward said, "Huyu tu anahitaji maziwa and he'll be fine." But I'm like, I don't have milk.
I wouldn't say I had a clear picture in terms of expectations on breastfeeding. I just went in. Nobody prepares you for motherhood. As much as you have the support, you have people with past experiences, I would just say it's good to walk in with an open mind, because you get to learn a lot. Your baby also gets to learn a lot.
Everything. Like I expected like a very fairy tale breastfeeding experience, but I hated pumping. So the pumping part was really a lot for me.
My expectations were that my milk will run from month 1 to even when the baby, maybe if I decide to breastfeed the baby for 2 years, I thought the milk supply would be continuous. But unfortunately, at some point, I lost the milk supply, but I had to look for options. Then that's how I realized that the drinking chocolate and milk works for me. So the expectations were my milk will run, but at some point it was cut.
Breastfeeding looks like a picture perfect when you're the one who's not doing it. And I've seen my mother doing it and possibly other women, but it was hard. And I would say one of the things that we're never told is about the nipple cracks.
The mistake I made was I did not read the manual of my breast pump properly. So I just waited. I just kept it there brand new, waiting for when baby comes, and then now I'll start like pumping, because I thought you start pumping after the baby has started breastfeeding, and then now it's just like a packaging thing you do. But unfortunately, like you start pumping immediately. So I didn't read the manual, so the flange size was big for me. In turn, ended up cracking my nipples, and then ended up making me hate breastfeeding, and so on and so forth.
When it came to lack of milk, I think milk is very mental. So you have to be in a good frame of mind to be able to produce milk. You can't have stress. Even not having milk, you can't be stressed about not having milk. Hot beverages, as I said, you have to keep on drinking, because that's how milk is supplied. And of course, the mother of them all is make sure your baby is constantly on your boob, because they're the best stimulant for getting milk out.
My most support, the first person I'd like to shout out is my husband. He's been there from waking up late at night, giving me that bottle of water. He always has a flask of water ready to give me for hydration. And of course, the other person is my mom.
In terms of emotional support, my husband has been there for me. And in terms of supply and uji and everything, my mother-in-law has done that very well. Yes.
My husband has always been there. He's actually ever on night duties up until now. So even during breastfeeding, I remember when I would pump, he would come in with those storage sheets, record the dates, record the mLs, and just seeing him measuring all that, and very invested, taking it to the freezer and all that. It really made me feel, I'm supported and loved.
The father of my child was extremely supportive, because most of these things, like this entire thing, you see, like my expectation versus reality is that you expect like a fairy tale between mother and child, whereby like there is no stress or whatever. But like I remember by week 6, I was ready to be done with, especially the pumping. I was ready to be done with it. But like, I just needed a breather, and I remember telling him, "Hey, me, let's go get formula. I just need to have like an alternative." And instead of asking why, let's work through it or whatever, he was just like, "Wear your shoes, let's go." So I did choose the formula, but just that action of being like, "I support your decision, let's go, you need the break," actually made me want to now come back. Actually came back and pumped and just pushed through it. Yeah.
I would say my family, my sisters. I remember when I was so depressed I didn't have milk. I was crying every morning. My sister came and she was like massaging my boobs. "We'll get milk, we'll get milk." She came, you know, you're supposed to either the baby, when the baby is not latching, you're supposed to pump so that now you start to stimulate. When the baby is asleep, my sister is coming and she's like, you know, "We'll pump, we'll get milk." It was really crazy. But I think I received such a great support system, of course, from then my husband. The fact that you don't have to think about it and he doesn't put pressure on you. But like, if there's no milk, we'll take formula, no stress. So I think my family.
The stereotypes I've heard about ever since I was a young lady, even before motherhood, was that breast size impacts the quality and quantity of milk. And I would say that is very wrong. It's a common misconception or myth or stereotype, if I may say so, because milk supply solely depend on, of course, the hydration.
The most common stereotype is eat for two, which is a lie. Which is a lie. Eating for two, you only add kilos to yourself, not to the child.
Was that breast size impacts the quality and quantity of milk. And I would say that is very wrong. It's a common misconception or myth or stereotype, if I may say so, because milk supply solely depend on, of course, the hydration and of course the demand and supply. So the more you breastfeed your child, the more you get milk to supply.
A new mom has to have like 3-4 thermoses of different items, porridge, whatever. And then you have to be eating like every other hour. You have to eat the njahis, the whatever, over and over again. So that's a stereotype that I found. And also I overate. So overeating, you will just get fat, basically.
I think that milk is automatic, and I think every mom should know it's not automatic. Just because you've given birth doesn't mean, and it's not a bad thing that you don't have milk. It's possible to get it, but it's not a bad thing.
I've said I'm a mother of nations. So from baby number one, I've realized, because I've breastfed all of them, I've realized that we are very tight even after they stop breastfeeding. I really think breastfeeding really helped me in bonding with them.
The bond with my baby has been top tier. Like, I wish I was still even doing it right now. And I think as a mom, as you're going through that whole motion of especially as a first-time mom, like try and get like 1 or 2 videos of your baby suckling, and because they grow up so fast and they no longer want you to hold them, so like that, and they'll never go back to that point in their life. So I feel, number one, my bond was definitely really amazing. I enjoyed the fact that she really needed me, and like breastfeeding was like a quick solution to anything. Yeah.
Wow. I think when you hold your child and you see them latching, that's bond enough, trust me. Because there's a lot that is passed on to the baby, and it's just not the milk itself, but it's also the emotions. You know, there's a way, it's actually a special moment, I would say. There's that connection that really comes when you hold your baby and breastfeed your baby. And I think it's only mothers who can really say what exactly it is. But if you were to put a word to it, I would say there's no vocabulary.
When I was struggling with milk and latching issues, I never really enjoyed breastfeeding. I was looking forward to it ending, to be honest. But now that we've gotten a rhythm, we've gotten a hang of it, I'm even like, I know I want to stop breastfeeding at a certain point, but am I really going to stop? Am I really going to stop?
When it comes to breastfeeding and workspace, I would say where I work, there's been a lot of support. And also from where I sit in the corporate space, I've had instances where I've had to reschedule meetings because when your supply is due, you have to express, right?
I have worked in different facilities from baby number 1 to baby number 4, and I've realized that we really need places that we can pump our milk from, we can store our milk when you pump during the day. But unfortunately, that is not happening.
There should be like a specific room set aside for women who are breastfeeding. And this room should have a sink. It should have a fridge, assuming like if the mom is comfortable to have the stuff put there, you know. There could be these bodybuilders because it's liquid gold, but basically it should have a setup whereby like there's a desk. The desk, because you could be wanting to work as you pump. Those 35-40 minutes as you're pumping can be the longest minutes in your life if you have nothing you're doing, you get. So if you have something, if one mom wants to work as they pump, then they have a desk to pump comfortably as they work. And then if the other mom wants to just chill on a couch and scroll, that should be also, yeah.
The workplaces also need to have these lactating areas for moms. I see most top companies have embraced even having creche for babies, where they allow moms, new moms, to come with the babies. They have nurses who take care of the babies, and that's really, really a job well done. So that's
what I have done, and I think it's because I became self-employed at some point. I've tried my level best to put a space for my employees to get a chance where they can breastfeed from.
Where that's a public space should have a space for breastfeeding. It's really hard. I think until you are a mom and you're a breastfeeding mom, you understand now the gaps that exist. So I think if more organizations, you can have like a room for mothers to feed in the office or to pump and express. Churches, wherever public space, offices, government offices, you can just have like a place where mothers can have space. I think that would go a really long way.
One thing that I wish I'd known about breastfeeding before I started is it's hard. Like I explained earlier, on the nipple cracks, no one prepares you for that. And your breast, the nipple, actually has quite sensitive nerves. And I wish I was prepared enough, like someone would have told me to buy a nipple shield, someone would have told me to buy a nipple cream, and so on and so forth.
I wish I knew, really, I wish I knew that babies are different, that baby boys breastfeed more than girls, because I've had an experience with girls, and now this time round it's a boy, so his breastfeeding is totally different. I have to like drink a lot of hot beverages, which I think is taking me to the toilet so many times.
Anytime baby wants to breastfeed, let them have the boob. Of course, you can read the room. If the people around find it uncomfortable, the mom just removing the boob and feeding the baby, it's okay. We have cover-ups nowadays. I love that. The market for these baby clothes, they've embraced that. So it's like an apron, you just wear it and then you cover the baby.
My view of people breastfeeding in public, what people want to see, they will see. Even if you hide, they know that you're breastfeeding. So be comfortable, be very comfortable while breastfeeding, and do not fear, because you're helping, or rather you're giving a chance for your child to grow.
Moms breastfeeding in public, I feel moms take first priority, like they take first dibs. If you're uncomfortable, then leave. If it's, as a mom, I feel where we need to just cut off is in terms of the decency, because we don't have control over what someone else is thinking, because we live in a world whereby we have pedophiles and all of those things. So yes, I'm doing this as priority for my baby, but I don't know who the other person is. So as protection for my baby, it's better off if it's a public setting. I would rather like cover up my baby and the breast or whatever, depending on the setting. But I feel if it's a plane, if it's wherever, if you're there and you have the baby and they're crying, feed them, but protect them as well. So cover. Don't be just showing your stuff. So that's my opinion.